I'm Adam Lewis and welcome to Deer IQ and our High IQ video series. In this video, we're going to look at 4 new approaches for success on pressured public lands. Something that all hunters who hunt public probably have struggled with, especially recently with hunter numbers skyrocketing. If you're a hunter who is sick of getting hunts messed up by other hunters, or who struggles to consistently see deer or get opportunities at good bucks on public land, I think this will really help you. Before we do, a couple things real quick, especially if you're new here. First, you'll notice we have an IQ ranking system where beginner is 1 IQ, intermediate is 5 IQ, and 10 IQ is our advanced content. This is true for our podcast as well as our blogs and videos, so you can best get content to meet you where you're at. This is a 5 IQ video and I think everyone will get something good out of it. Second, I invite you to subscribe and check out all our other great content, the videos, blog, and podcast. We even have a free journal that goes along with our podcast. If you take your deer hunting seriously and really want to fast track your growth, I invite you to check that out. Okay, so here are 4 new approaches for public land success. Approach number 1, hunt the other hunters. A huge paradigm shift is needed to find where the big bucks are actually hiding on public land. Within a few days of season opener, the deer know they're being hunted and start avoiding any area given even the slightest pressure. Where they go to hide might not be the obvious spots on your hunting app, where all the other hunters probably already are. So how do you re-find them and get on their new patterns? Instead of frantically looking for deer sign, relax a bit and take the time to start scouting the other hunters. Where are they parking? Where are they accessing and leaving hunting locations? How are they using the landscape? Since deer will immediately react to this, you need to as well. This pushes deer into different locations than scouting and sign may have told you in the summer or the first few days of season. So thinking like a deer and how they will respond to this pressure will give you a big clue as to where to now hunt them. Actually staying out of the woods, driving around and documenting which parking lots are full and observing the hunters and their habits will get you further than doing blind hunts on old deer sign. You need hunter intel. Resist the temptation to compete for a spot and add even more pressure to the area. This would be counterproductive. My friend Manni takes a different angle on gathering data. He strategically puts his trail cameras in locations to not only monitor deer, but also other hunters. Kind of tricky. Knowing when and how they access areas tells him how and when he can access it differently to get a crack at the deer avoiding these hunters. And it drastically ups his odds. Hunting the other hunters is a high IQ approach to put you where the deer actually are on highly pressured public lands. Manni chased this big buck he called Frazier for 5 seasons on public land in Michigan, patterning him and getting several cracks at him before his eventual demise. It's a testament to this strategy he used and also an incredible story. He details it in his exact strategies in our in-depth interview, which will be on our podcast soon if you want to check that out and hear exactly how Manni did it. Approach number 2, up your pain tolerance. Most people tend to gravitate toward what's easy or a lazy approach to hunting, me included. We're human. We may say we're going the extra mile in the effort department, but are we really? The reality is that most of us aren't as tough as we like to think and don't do the extremely tough or painful stuff to get where the big bucks hide. So, up your pain tolerance if you want to separate yourself from the crowds. Dr. Jeff Kelly, a common guy with an uncommon success record in multiple states over the last 25 years, gets away from the crowds by biking miles into areas, toting an inflatable raft in a bike trailer, and then rafting across unwadable waters just to give himself a chance.
Rarely leave home now without a pedal bike, an electric bike, and a boat.
Actions like this are a minimum if you want to get into uncharted or unhunted territory. If it's not that hard for you to get to, then expect company because it isn't for other hunters either. Basically, if your brain isn't trying to talk you out of it and telling you it's way too hard or too much work, then it's not hard enough to get to or hunt. Ask yourself what you are willing to do to punch a tag on public land, and then ask if you can do more. Get a workout routine, dedicate to it year-round, and work at removing any mental or physical barriers standing in your way. Do what's necessary to up your pain tolerance. It's the cost of putting some real estate between you and other hunters and having success on ultra-pressured public lands.
Yeah.
And are you getting value out of this video? If so, I encourage you to like it, comment with your thoughts below, and share it with a friend who may benefit. That really helps our channel out. And also, do you know your deer IQ? Do you think you're deer smart? Take our deer IQ test and find out. It's fun and easy and it's linked below. Okay, and now back to number 3. Approach number 3, avoid Disneyland. Going deep or hiking deep into swamps miles from roads or kayaking into remote areas discovered only on a map can be good ploys, but unfortunately has become a cliche for modern hunters. Due to excessive press, this secret is out, turning these areas into destination locations, a Disneyland of sorts. When you get there, many times you're greeted by a crowd of kayaks, stands, and other savvy hunters waving at you. Just about every one of our experts mentioned this phenomenon on some level, and I fully agree. This past spring, I went deep into local public land searching for some inaccessible dream location, only to find half a dozen tree stands hunters had left behind. The best deer sign I found was 200 yards from the road. The mental shift here is not going deep, but finding overlooked areas wherever these may be. It could be that long kayak trip still plays, but it may be the spot right next to the parking lot that everyone walks past that is holding the mature buck. The reality is bucks pattern hunters quickly, and they care nothing about how far you went or creative you were in getting there. If you saw it easily on your app, then so did a bunch of other e-scouters, and you can count on seeing them there. So avoid the glamour and hype of the Disneyland locations at all costs. Approach number 4, do your homework. This may seem obvious, but many people don't like homework and cheat a bit here. Believe me, I know, I'm a teacher. One area I observed this is the tendency to lean on gear or fads to think these will solve our problems. The latest mobile gear simply cannot replace having a thorough understanding of where you're going and what you're likely to find there. Great hunters spend much more time scouting and prepping than hunting. So honestly assess the time you spend doing both of those. Seriously, write down and document it. See the actual hours on paper. If you hunt more than your time spent prepping, you need to shift this balance. Having dozens of spots ready to hunt well ahead of time on multiple properties is an essential task according to my friend John Eberhardt, and one that I also employ. For local properties, this means winter and spring prep of stand locations as well as exact entries and exits mapped out. Something John has preached for years, and it's so true. Keep a list of all these along with detailed notes about how and when to hunt each spot. This is the tough part of the homework, but of great benefit. In your notes include winds, time of year, nearby food sources, and how these should dictate when and how you hunt these locations. This may be an old tactic of sorts, but the proliferation of GPS apps has come at a high cost. That is, thinking a screen will save you when you get there. Do the hard homework of prep. Both screen and boots, or the real test, hunting, will reveal who's been cheating. So I hope those 4 are helpful to everyone hunting public land this year, and I hope not to see you out there. And if you want to read about all 8 new approaches, there's 4 more I didn't mention here, there's a link below to our free public land hunting guide. Check it out. And I'll see you on the next Deer IQ High IQ video.